shredded lettuce with a very, I would say, generous serving of avocado. Would you agree with that, Chris?
Yes. So the Texans at 48, they traded in to take the offensive tackle from Minnesota, Arante Ursay.
Arante Ursay, right. Yes.
Sure.
Ursay. So they must have really wanted him at 48. Now the Bengals are on the clock at 49. You agreed with me to pretend that you knew who I was talking about.
Yes.
I trust when Marcus says it because Marcus is an NFL expert compared to you.
Right.
I just want to hear you do your Anthony Bourdain thing again that was going on.
We are back live on YouTube,
done.
apparently.
Yeah. Okay, so great. So what happened was, Marcus, not only was the tuna spectacular with the shredded lettuce and the very generous amount of avocado,
yes,
which is usually where you kind of get gypped, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the top of it all was the pickle.
Oh.
See, I can't eat pickles now because I have a lot of sodium.
Too much sodium?
A lot of sodium.
Not even like a pickle,
If I have one pickle, that's like I'm done for the day.
But what if you just have one little pickle chip, one little slice?
But you're pointing to the YouTube as though I'm doing it.
No, you're not doing it. I'm letting you know.
Okay, it's a little glitchy, so we're having some issues, okay?
We're all watching
working
it.
on. We're working
on
out.
it.
We're working it out.
Just letting you know.
Carlos texting.
Letting you know, big fella. That's all.
Okay, but
They're on top of it.
I'm doing a show, so there's not a lot.
We're good.
There's not a lot I can physically do.
It appears that we're good.
I trust in our teammates, Cappy, unlike you.
Basically, I would say just back all
this
the way
isn't
out.
San Diego. We don't have incompetent
back all
people
the way
working
out of
for
it,
us.
and then just go back in, and then should be good to go again.
So I trust our
Did
team.
you try the power button?
It's like an old Nintendo. Take the cartridge out, blow it, put it back in there.
Just blow on it for a
All
second.
right, let's see. It does appear that we are
exactly,
back.
DeAndre.
It does appear we are back.
Now, D, can you still not hear us in your headphones so you can't come on the air with us? Or
So I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you guys on my headphones, but only on the right side. So I have to take
That's
the cue.
okay.
I have to take the cue out of the Carmex.
Listen,
QR.
I can't think of everything, but it is 5:25. D, how are you feeling so far about the NFL draft? Now, your Eagles, as Super Bowl champions, they've got very back-ended picks. Like, they're at the end of each round. Nobody really cares, right?
Exactly. And, Howie Roseman is known for finding guys later on in the NFL draft. So, I feel good with the Eagles going into this draft.
By the way, don't forget Lakers Talk Daily if you still want to get ready for tonight's game. But D will have recaps. Lakers Talk Daily at ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube, presented by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. D, what is the promo code?
Download the Underdog app and sign up with the promo code ESPNLA to unlock a special offer to up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's right. $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. So download that Underdog app. Download that Underdog app, man.
Oh, beautiful!
I really like the way you say
support.
that's right. By the way,
Support DeAndre, please.
Yeah, big time. Because it's like you're getting to that point where you're like, "Wow, is that really the case?" And then you hit him with the "That's right." So I thought I heard him say that. That's right.
If Cappy refuses to do YouTube only shows,
yeah, D, you can do them.
Chris, D,
yeah,
Lindsay,
Bergie,
Let's do it.
Bergie,
Marcus.
Sure.
Yeah. And then once I refuse,
and by the way, Lee Hacksaw Hamilton if I want.
And then you know what happens when I refuse? Once I refuse, you know what happens?
You're done?
No, that's when Sedano goes, "Oh, I'll do it."
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he'll stab you.
Yeah. Oh,
DeAndre, I saw you tweeting about Shadur. This is crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't expect him to fall this far back in the draft. I don't know what's going on here.
He's not going to the third round.
So the Bengals have drafted the linebacker from South Carolina, Demetrius Knight Jr. at 49. The Seahawks are now, the pick is in actually, at the 50th pick. Could they potentially do it here?
It's interesting how many guys from South Carolina have been drafted in the first 50 picks of the draft.
Yeah.
I don't remember South Carolina this year setting the college football world on fire.
No, but they had a few guys on the defensive side that were obviously big prospects. I know Eman Ware is a guy that a lot of folks like. I think he's a good fit in Seattle. But T.J. Sanders, I think, was another one who was
Heaters are on in here, by the way.
Shadur Sanders wasn't even the first Sanders drafted.
It was nice and toasty.
It's funny, though, D, you talk about how you're so surprised that Shadur has fallen this far down. We're all surprised. But really, our surprise is that the media has been hyping Shadur. And I say the media, we're all guilty of it. We've been hyping him for the last 2 years. Since the first game that they played at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, when they beat TCU, who at the end of the previous season had played at SoFi Stadium, as you may recall, in the national championship game, and they got ham-slammed by Georgia. But TCU was expected to be good, and in game one of the Deion Sanders era, Colorado pulled a shocking upset. And Marcus, once that happened, it didn't matter if it was College Game Day on ESPN, it didn't matter if it was whatever, the big noon kickoff is on Fox. Every network wanted to be at Colorado every Saturday. It was the biggest story going. I can remember seeing College Game Day. Pat McAfee is there, and here comes Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And so celebrities showed up. Everybody wanted a piece of Coach Prime. Then all of a sudden, after winning 4 straight games his first year, they went backwards. They started to play real competition, and they went backwards. But the hype around Deion and then the hype around Shedeur was so great that we all just expected it was an automatic.
I also think a lot of folks tuned out for year 2 of Coach Prime in Colorado.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right.
Because I think there was so much Colorado overload that first year, right? Like like you said, you couldn't escape the Buffaloes that first year. And then as they started losing and they came back to earth, everybody just sort of said, see, we knew this was a fraud. And I just don't think people tuned in for year 2. So the last thing that most people saw of Shadur Sanders was kind of that first season. And so, everything you heard was sort of word of mouth, and you were taking people's word for it. And the chatter was that he was going to be a top 5 pick. And I just don't know that people followed the narrative. I think there were places in the media, on the internet, that suggested this could happen. Maybe not this far, but that he was going to fall certainly out of the top 5, maybe out of the first round. But I just think, the narrative had been cemented that he was a top 5 guy, and most people didn't bother to continue doing the reading.
On May 1st, 2024, so about a year ago, a guy sent a tweet to Coach Prime, and it said, tell your son to stop acting like he's the coldest out here, then put up a 4-8 season. Coach Prime on Twitter replied with, he will be a top 5 pick. Where yo son going? And then he writes, laugh out loud, laugh out loud. I got time today. Laugh out loud.
So, DeAndre, let's pot up and let's hear what the Seahawks are doing at 50 here.
Before we start, I got to say happy birthday to...
So the point is that Coach Prime was hyping his own son and has such a platform and has so many people following
him. In the 2025 NFL
That's
Draft,
good. Just pot up. Cut
the
off
Seattle Seahawks select Elijah Arroyo, tight end, Miami.
Another tight end goes off the board.
Elijah Arroyo. That's an interesting fit there.
That is an interesting fit.
Yeah.
You got Cooper Kupp now and the tight end from Miami, Elijah Arroyo.
And you got Sam Darnold.
You got Sam Darnold. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They've got some weapons to throw to there.
Yeah.
Panthers are now on the clock at 51. So it looks like the drop is – well, it doesn't look like it. The drop is continuing for Shedeur. Where can he go still in the second round?
The Raiders at 58?
Maybe.
Could go.
Maybe.
That's it. And if the Raiders don't take him at 58, he's a third-round pick.
So is this more I'm just curious. So is this more of a personality thing with Shadur Sanders, or is this more about a skill base? Because there was reports that he holds the ball too long. He's not as elusive.
He taps the ball.
I think it's both, D.
Yeah.
I think it's both. I think it's a lot of personality, and I just don't know if the talent is there, especially at a school like Colorado. People aren't looking at it like an SEC powerhouse. And then you've got to deal with the drama and his dad.
I would say this. If you asked me to cut it into a percentage, I'd say it's 65% personality-based. And when I say personality-based, like it's the jewelry at the party last night. I don't care. Like, the jewelry doesn't mean anything to me, but I know how somebody might look at it if you're an owner.
Right.
And so for me, it's who he thinks he is, who his father is, the traveling circus that will come with him. Like, that's over here. And then for me, it's 35% of, you know what? We're not as impressed with him as everybody else is. We're not as impressed with him as Coach Prime is.
Right.
And I do think, going back over to the 65% side, you brought it up earlier, Marcus, he's never played for anybody other than his father.
Yep.
Deion groomed him from high school to Jackson State to Colorado. He's never been coached by anybody else.
I think that's important, right? It's how do you take coaching from somebody who's not your dad, right? Like, it's one thing you get coached by a guy, and then at the end of practice you get in the car and you go home, right? And it's sort of the same thing. How are you going to take criticism from somebody who is not your father? And especially, I think, for a lot of NFL front offices and head coaches, there's the idea that Deion's just going to be hanging around,
And I think if you're an NFL head coach, I'll use Brian Daboll as an example, the Giants coach. He's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Definitely.
His first year, they went to the postseason.
I was shocked they let him in the war room last night.
Yeah, right.
Well, you saw him. I was like, really? They let him in?
Well, because his first year, he and Daniel Jones, we know what's happened to him, they went to the postseason, and they won in Minnesota. So they had a playoff win under their belt, and then it all fell apart the following year. A lot of it also had to do with the fact that their general manager screwed up and let Saquon Barkley walk to their division rival. But if you were Brian Daboll, you might be arguing in the war room, we don't want Shadur Sanders. We want somebody who can help us win now. But he might be thinking to himself, I got Coach Prime standing over my shoulder. I know that sounds maybe a little far-fetched to some people. I don't personally think it is. But as I look into the third round, Marcus, pick 1, the Giants. He ain't going there.
Nope.
Pick 2, Kansas City. He's not going there. And then the 2 teams that we both kind of are focusing on, Cleveland with the 3rd pick of the 3rd round, the Raiders with the 4th pick of the 3rd round. Could the Browns or the Raiders pull this off in the 3rd round?
They could, but to Lindsey's point, the Browns had 2 shots. They had 2 bites at the apple at the top of the 2nd round, and they didn't bite on either one. The Raiders keep trading back, so they certainly don't seem interested. I mean, I guess if you're the Steelers, where are you? You're middle of round 3. I think they're the the 19th pick in round 3. I mean, I guess if you're the Steelers and you need a quarterback and you don't want to wait on, AR-12 to finally make a decision from whatever, South American cave he's in, you just sit back and you wait, and likely Shadur Sanders is going to fall in your lap if that's really what you feel like you want or you need at this point.
So the Panthers at 51 have taken from Texas A&M Nick Scorton, on the edge of the defensive side of the ball. Then at 52, the Titans take the UCLA kid. A local guy. Alafume Alahada. I couldn't even say that
that's
name.
Really good.
No,
that's great. That's great.
That was horrible.
No, you said it perfectly.
Did I?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Now
the Bucs are on the clock at 53.
Don't you guys think, though, that if Shadur Sanders was, part of anyone's plan, because they obviously have their draft boards and their plans, that if he was part of that plan moving forward, that he would have been drafted by now.
100%.
Once you get to the 3rd round, It's like, okay, maybe we'll take a flyer on him, but you don't want to risk giving up a pick for somebody that you actually, want.
If he's a 3rd round pick to a team that already has an established starting quarterback, the Giants don't have an established starting quarterback, but they went and got a kid in the 1st round. Okay?
Bucs pick is in. We'll find out that in a moment. Packers now on the clock at 54.
The Steelers don't really have a starting quarterback, and the assumption is that Aaron Rodgers will go there. Are they really going to go into the season with Mason Rudolph as their starter?
You hope not.
But can you imagine if they had Aaron Rodgers and Shadur? That's a nightmare.
Oh, is he ready to go?
Is he calling?
He's going to call right now? Okay, great. So we were talking to the Rams before the show, and we were saying, hey, look, we'd really like to talk to the draft choice.
Right now, just so DeAndre knows, since he can't hear us in
Keyboard. Yeah, he's going to call the hotline now.
Okay. So Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, who was the first pick by the Rams, but their 2nd rounder, because remember they backed up. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end from Oregon, is going to join us here in a matter of moments.
We are live on the all-new ESPN LA app. Just hit the Listen Live tile, or you're watching on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles while we have Lakers coverage on 7:10 a.m. and the Lakers tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. We are live from Air Operations in Van Nuys, the draft headquarters of our Los Angeles Rams. They took Terrence Ferguson at 46, the 14th pick of the 2nd round, the tight end from Oregon, your Oregon Ducks. We're waiting for Terrence to call in.
And we're getting him so quickly that we don't even have the press release on him yet.
I thought I saw a press release, but maybe not.
That's totally – oh, really? You got a press release?
I thought so, but maybe not.
All right.
Well, this is kind of cool. We talked about his production. 4-year player, a guy who added more receptions year after year after year. Senior year had more yards, fewer touchdowns than his junior year. 5 touchdowns his junior year, 2 touchdowns his senior year. But he did have a 62-yard touchdown as a senior. So, when you have – is he ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay.
He is the new tight end of your Los Angeles Rams and our Los Angeles Rams from Oregon. The tight end, Terrence Ferguson, on draft night joins us here on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Terrence, congratulations, my man.
All right, let's hope that we can get this thing worked out. Terrence, can you hear us? Uh-huh.
It's got to be an audition, D.
All right, Terrence, can you hear us, man?
I hear him there.
I heard something.
I feel like I hear him. Terrence, can you hear us? Oh, we were so close.
We were so close.
Terrence?
I hear background noise.
So do I. We're so close to having him on the air.
Wait,
so right there.
Oh, he just said, I can't hear. And then did we have him?
We had him. I had him potted up and everything. It just, I don't know why you guys can't hear him. I hear him perfectly.
Aha. Well, I've heard this happen. I was driving down the road the other day, and I was listening to Mad Dog.
Yes.
And Chris Russo is interviewing this guy who wrote this book, and he throws him a question, and then it's dead air for like 45 seconds.
Right.
And then Russo comes back and he goes, oh, well, that's really interesting. That's actually quite fascinating. Well, what do you think about this? And then there's dead air again.
Well, the great members of the PR team here with our Los Angeles Rams, all our friends, if we don't talk to them today, which we appreciate the help, we'll talk to him Monday if we can't get him on today. But Terrence Ferguson, the first pick for the Los Angeles Rams at 46, the 14th pick tonight. From Oregon, the tight end, and another weapon for Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it again. Terrence, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Hey, congratulations, brother. How you doing, man? Where are you? What's going on around you? And what was your reaction when you were taken by the Rams?
Man, I'm back in Denver, Colorado, and I was super excited and just grateful for the opportunity. I'm here with my family, just in our house, and just celebrating the moment. But, I'm super excited to get out there and get to work.
So talk about your coming to Los Angeles. What can Rams fans expect from Terrence Ferguson?
Yeah, they can expect my best. I'm going to lay it out on the field every Sunday. And, I'm a versatile player who's going to make an impact however I can, whether that's blocking, stretching the field. God gifted me with an athletic body, and I feel like that's where I excel. So just a lot of passes caught.
Now, Terrence, you went to Oregon, and Puddles the Duck is one of my favorite mascots of all time. Now, the Rams, they got Rampage, who's an amazing mascot. I think Rampage might be better than Puddles the Duck, although I love Puddles. Do you have any sort of Puddle stuff you're going to bring with you to L.A., like a Puddle sweatshirt or anything?
I might have a couple Puddle sweatshirts with just the face on it. I got a lot of Oregon gear. Luckily enough to go to Oregon, they definitely take care of you.
I love it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm curious. You wear number 3 at Oregon. Back in the old days, tight ends wore anything from 80 to 89. You still want to go with a single digit in the NFL, or do you plan on going with a more traditional 80-style number?
If I could wear a 3, I'd love to wear a 3. Whatever I end up with, though, I'll make that my number, but I'd love to end up in 3 still.
See, Cappy, you can't start controversy. The kid just got drafted. I don't know if he's going to be able to wear it. That's Coach McVay's decision.
Hey, maybe he goes with 83. How about that?
Maybe.
As a possibility. Terrence, tell us this, because looking at your career at Oregon, you were productive from your freshman year, and you produced for Oregon for 4 years. So I'm just curious. Start us off with this. Coming out of high school, you chose Oregon. Where else did you consider?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be recruited by a lot of schools, Ohio State, LSU. I know USC, Wisconsin. We're in the mix, but it was always Oregon from day one. Coach Cristobal, who's the coach at the time, did a great job recruiting me. So I kind of felt like that was home from the start of it.
So what do you know about, I'm sure you've watched the Rams on TV. I'm sure you've seen Sean McVay, but what do you know about them, and what did you talk to them during the draft process? What's your association, your acquaintance with this organization?
Yeah, I just had a formal, and they kind of did their formals a little different, just a one-on-one with someone, and, most of it was on an iPad doing like a survey and questionnaire, so it was far from the normal formal experience, and that's really it. But I know a lot about the Rams and just the type of offense that Coach McVay has. It's explosive. It's always finding the right options, and, it's an elite offense. And so I'm excited to be a part of that.
He's the tight end from Oregon, the first pick for the Rams in the 2025 NFL Draft tonight, Terrence Ferguson. Terrence, welcome to Los Angeles. Welcome to the Rams. My final thing, are you ready to catch a pass from Matthew Stafford? Oh, yeah, I'm super excited. Can't wait to catch a pass from Stafford. Awesome, man. Congratulations. Enjoy your draft night, okay? Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, bro.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Very cool.
That's cool. Seems like a nice kid. Seems like a humble kid. hey, I'm going to give you everything I got. God bless me with this athletic body. Knew where he was going to Oregon. Was a kid who produced the entire way through. And the Rams, when you think about it, Marcus, you think about a guy like Tyler Higbee, who's been an underrated player. When he got hurt in Detroit in the wild card game, or was it the divisional round game? It was the wild card game. This is going back 2 seasons ago. This was when Stafford kind of first went back to Detroit. Mm-hmm. When Higbee got hurt in that game, I'm sure that the Rams were thinking to themselves about the future of the position. And now they've gotten themselves you look at all the tight ends that have been drafted here recently. I mean, there's got to be 5 or 6 of them so far. That's unofficial. But you're getting a guy who played at the absolute highest level of college football and was that productive over the course of 4 years. So you're not getting a guy who played 1 year and you're like, hey, he's got a lot of potential and he's got the body and he's got the speed. You're talking about a guy who produced for 4 straight years at Oregon. So I'm not suggesting to you that he's going to Canton, Ohio next week. I'm just saying that it's a very interesting selection for the Rams and fills a real need.
Absolutely fills a real need. And you talk about him coming from a major program, playing in the Big Ten this past year. And it's a program that historically has been very much known for offense, for being an explosive attack, for throwing the ball, getting up and down the field, scoring a lot of points. And this definitely feels like the Rams sort of looking to the future, right? Because after this year, Tyler Higbee is a free agent. He's going to be 32 this season. It feels like, this could be sort of paving the way and opening the door, that maybe this year we still see Higbee, we see Terrence Ferguson kind of work into that tight end position. But, if things go as anticipated, it could be that this is Terrence Ferguson's job as the full-time tight end next season.
I'm just looking here,
He's 6'5", real tall.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's a tall drink of water, Linz. The first tight end in the second round was Mason Taylor out of LSU.
Right.
And Ferguson becomes the second tight end in the second round. And the Miami tight end, Elijah Arroyo, went to Seattle. He was the third tight end taken. And I got to go back into the first round.
Two tight ends yesterday. Colston Loveland goes to the Bears, and then Tyler Warren to the Colts.
So
That's a good job, Marcus. That's good knowledge.
Appreciate that.
You're talking about the fourth guy off the board, the fourth tight end. So when you get the fourth tight end in the middle of the second round, I mean, that seems like a really good, solid pick. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, the Rams didn't even have a second-round pick until they traded yesterday with Atlanta, so they were able to get to this pick and pick up a position of need. Listen, Les Snead gets a lot of flowers around town, and understandably so, because he changed the whole organizational philosophy from we don't need draft choices anymore. F them picks.
F them picks.
So now it's A those picks, which is acquire those picks.
So the Bucs, just to recap the last few picks, the Bucs at 53 have taken Benjamin Morrison, the cornerback from Notre Dame. The Packers at 54 take Anthony Belton, the offensive tackle from NC State. The Chargers, Cappy's Chargers, just picked at 55 Trey Harris, the wide receiver from Mississippi. The Bears pick is in. This is part of that Houston, Buffalo, Minnesota trade at 56. And the Broncos are on the clock at 57. Then we'll wait for the Raiders at 58. That could be the last moment Shadur Sanders could go in the second round. And if he doesn't go there, then he pretty much drops to the third round.
Yeah.
Do you guys want some fun facts about Terrence Ferguson?
Would love some.
So last year in
Lindsay's into the Terrence Ferguson thing.
She likes him. He's
I'm just
tall
doing
drink
my
of water.
research since I couldn't, when we were...
Hi, Terrence. I'm producer Lindsay Baseball.
He set school records for career receptions and receiving touchdowns by a tight end. So he had 134 receptions and 16 touchdowns.
Okay.
And he also finished just 20 yards shy of Ed Dixon's school tight end record for career receiving yards, which was 1,557. He played in 12 games with 11 starts, and he only missed 2 games. Want to know why? He had to have an emergency appendectomy.
I hate that.
Really? I've had to have that.
Ouch.
Oh, man.
I've had emergencies the last few months.
Oh, you have?
Well, February. But
Yeah.
5:47 right now. We are live from the Rams draft headquarters, air operations in Van Nuys. Thank you to the Los Angeles Rams for us being here, and, of course, all the brave men and women at the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Give them a raise.
Give them a raise, Cappy. If you're looking for Lakers and you've somehow stumbled upon our YouTube page and are listening live on the all-new ESPN LA app, you can click the Lakers tile on the all-new ESPN LA app or turn on your radio, 7:10 a.m. Don't forget, at 6:30, LA Kings are up in Edmonton to play those scumbag stinking Oilers Game 3. You can hear all the play-by-play by clicking the LA Kings tile. And tomorrow on 7:10 and on the all-new ESPN LA app, we've got rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7 from ESPN Radio, network coverage all day long. And, of course, Monday afternoon and all day Monday, it's a Reaction Monday. We'll be reacting to what the Lakers do over the weekend, what the Rams do in the other rounds of the draft, what the Kings do, and what the Dodgers do against the Pirates this weekend at Dodger Stadium. So it's a fun time. You know, we always say October's the best month for LA sports. How about April? April ain't bad, Jack.
Well, you said it the other day. There was a promo that you were running that said...
Was I voicing it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it said something like, all these things are happening and the NFL draft, and you said as if there's not enough going on.
Right.
When I used to actually...
That was ad-libbed in the promo read.
It was very good.
I ad-libbed that.
When I used to hold a newspaper, I used to love to hold the newspaper.
You do love to hold it.
But I used to really love to hold the newspaper.
I know.
So the newspaper, the LA Times in particular, always did a great job of what they called the pro calendar.
Yes.
And what the pro calendar was is it gave you a list of every team and then a grid on who's playing who, where, and when. If you use the LA Times website, you can actually get the paper version on the website, or you can do more of the digital version. So I pulled up the paper version just today. Oh, that looks like a nice, what is that, like a chicken marsala?
Chicken piccata.
Oh, a chicken piccata.
So here's the thing. Finish your point real quick.
Oh, I love the capers. Looks so good. So I pulled this up. Take a look at this. Dodgers, 3 games against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Angels, 3 games against Minnesota. Lakers, 2 games against Minnesota, Friday, Sunday. Clippers, last night against Denver, and then tomorrow against Denver. The Kings, Edmonton tonight, and then at Edmonton again on this is tonight, Friday, and then on Sunday. Even the Galaxy and the LAFC games on Sunday, and even the ladies team plays
City's
tonight.
in Orlando tonight.
Yeah. So look at that. I mean, you talk about a busy period of time. Awesome. And then on top of it, throw in the NFL draft.
So, Cappy, it's dinner time. We made history today by doing the first content from 710 to YouTube only. We've never made that transition. We made history on YouTube today and on the all-new ESPN LA app. And it's only fitting that you and me and Marcus Grant and Lindsay were the ones to cut the ribbon. Mm-hmm. We got to give the YouTube audience, and for Mandy's 4 or Cappy's 1, whatever it is, something to remember this moment by.
Are you going to share the chicken piccata?
Let's share.
Not a chicken piccata.
I was wondering why you guys didn't want to wait another.
Not a chicken piccata.
Why is he getting food delivered?
Hold on. I really, really like the capers. Hold on, I'm putting the capers.
He's going to eat a caper out of his mouth. Oh no, that's too close. You better move that microphone, Cappy.
Marcus, I feel awkward watching this.
Yeah, I do too.
I feel
this is weird. It's kind of like everyone's looking at them like, what are these guys doing?
It's like we're not going to be invited back here.
No, we're not. Good thing this is day 2 and
good
not
thing,
day 1.
Right? You know,
that's damn good piccata. Those are nice capers. Those are nice capers.
That was a Cappy Morales food share.
You know, Marcus.
This has become a thing. You know,
it has.
The 22-inch glizzy that we shared that started all of this, Chris.
You know the word glizzy?
Oh, you don't know about the glizzy?
I know what a glizzy is. I just didn't think Cappy was familiar with the term glizzy. That's all.
Oh my God!
We just saw the replay.
Wow.
We just saw the replay on YouTube.
I took down 11.
It even slowed down like YouTube knew that it was a moment to be savored.
DeAndre, you just saw that?
This? Yeah.
I did, yes.
DeAndre, hey, at least with the 22-inch glizzy, we started 22 inches away. Look at this right here, Marcus. Let's watch the replay.
This was like belly to belly.
Plus, we're also both wearing caps.
Yeah, like the fact that the bills of the caps didn't cause conflict. That's
right.
A few weeks ago, we shared a cupcake and our lips touched.
Oh,
yeah.
Chris's beard was in my tongue.
Yes, they did touch.
That sounds unpleasant.
The way you responded, you were like, "Oh."
That sounds unpleasant completely.
That was really tasty, and I'll tell you something. I presume that the same caterer is doing today.
No, I believe it's a different caterer.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
This chicken piccata is a bomb dish. You got to be careful, bro. There's a lot of sodium in this.
So Lindsay, I know you were a big wrestling fan. Seth Rollins is about to announce the Bears pick right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
No way, Seth Rollins?
And he's got a Chicago Bears championship belt.
Well, you know what?
His shoulder.
Hey, he should have a championship belt after what he did on Saturday night at WrestleMania. Did you know what he did?
So the Detroit Lions have now jumped in
but I
at
imagine it was pretty
57.
special, huh?
Yeah, there was a 3-man match. It was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk.
Okay.
And ultimately, Seth Rollins did come out victorious. There was controversy along the way.
As always,
you
as
know,
expected for WWE.
Lindsay, who jumped in the ring? Was it who's the manager that jumped into the ring?
Heyman.
Yeah. Okay, and then there was a chair, and everybody got hit over the head with a chair.
He hit Roman, and then he hit CM Punk. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
You think we're going to get called to the principal's office on Monday?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Wait, aren't you the principal?
No, but higher principal.
Oh, got it.
Like, put it this way. Like Kevin Demoff is probably going to text me and go, hey, listen, it was really nice to have you guys out, and you guys do a nice job.
Thanks for not posing.
Maybe not with the chicken thing anymore.
Yeah, what's up with you and Morales with the chicken thing?
Wait, he's going to say thanks for not posing in the bathtub again. However,
that is true.
Yeah, that is
because that's what last year,
2 years ago,
in the Rams draft house,
okay.
he posed naked in the Rams draft house bathtub.
Right. So the Bears pick is in, but the Lions have now jumped in at 57, trading with the Panthers before the Raiders pick at 58. So this could get interesting.
So we got to stick around to the Raiders.
We do have to stick around. So we'll stay on YouTube through the Raiders pick.
What's
so everybody knows.
Give me the lineup one more time on who's up.
Bears pick is in. Lions are on the clock. They traded with the Panthers.
The Bears have just taken an offensive tackle, Ozzie Trapilo,
from Boston College.
And
The Lions pick is in. Now the Raiders are on the clock at 58. This is the last chance for Shadur, most likely to go if he goes in the second round. We are live from the Rams draft headquarters, air operations in Van Nuys on the ESPN Los Angeles YouTube channel and on the all-new ESPN LA app. By the way, Lakers are on 710 ESPN at 7:10 a.m. And if you hit the Lakers tile right now, this is a whole new world trying to navigate.
It is. It's really
and
good.
I love it. I love it. We made history today.
What's exciting about it, in all seriousness, what's exciting about it is this, is that in the old days, when you just had a radio station and you had a conflict, you'd have to find or farm out another frequency.
Yep.
Say, hey, we've got the Lakers, and the Lakers have the priority, but we got to find a way for the Kings, so we got to go farm it out to someplace else. Now, with YouTube and the app being the key to it all, now you can have...
You kind of did the app thing there like Trump.
The app. You got to have a good app. Billions and billions of people use apps. They're the greatest apps we've ever seen.
And so the thing is that now you can say, okay, we've got Lakers, Kings, draft, all on the app, and all the consumers can come to the app, and the Laker fans can go listen over here, and the Kings fans can go listen over here, and no fan base is shut out.
Right.
It's really freaking cool, man.
Yeah, thanks Al Gore for creating the internet.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not.
By the way, D, real quick, be sure to save this in the podcast this hour as well, this audio.
I'm not going to look on Twitter because I don't want to know until we see the actual pick.
You don't want to tip the pick?
Exactly.
Well, are you talking about for the Raiders?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because the Lions they haven't announced
They're
their
just
pick
announcing
yet.
theirs now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to wait for the
Really
Lions.
It is. I bet it is. It looks really good. Now, I noticed that you had one of the young guys who's working for us,
Lucas,
go get you food.
No.
Okay, that's not the
He
case.
didn't get me food.
Okay.
He got me food for the bit.
Oh, okay, got it. But
if I left and got food, you'd say, why are you going to get food?
Mm-hmm.
And then you would know I'm planning something.
I'd also say, can you get
want
me
him?
some?
You want him to get you food?
No, I don't want
You
him
can
to
have
get me
this food.
No, I want to
I
get
was
my
just
own
having a
food.
snack because it's in front of me, and I'm a little hungry.
Yeah, it's nice.
A little peckish.
It's really nice. So, hey, Marcus, what are you going to do tonight? You gonna watch Lakers, Kings, continue on with draft? You gonna watch Dodgers? How are you going to do this tonight?
I will probably mostly be so my wife will definitely be watching the Lakers, so they will be on the main TV. I will have maybe my tablet here up for the Dodger game. I'll be monitoring the draft on my phone, kind of checking in with Kings updates here and there as well.
A lot.
I'm going to go. Priority is going to go like this for me: Lakers primary TV, Kings secondary TV, Dodgers. Which, by the way, I wouldn't have as much interest if it wasn't for the pitching matchup. I could live without a baseball game tonight, given the basketball game and the hockey game.
Right.
But because of the pitching matchup, I got to see what's going to happen with the Dodgers. And then the draft. If Shadur doesn't get drafted here, I'm probably going to go away from the draft and I'll just read about it.
That's fair. I because of the other.
Remember
game,
that on Monday.
The other thing I do, I'll be
that?
watching the draft and kind of monitoring.
I feel like a lot of people are going to keep watching until he gets drafted
Just
because
to see
now
where-
it's just
Well,
like, what the hell?
I think to a point. I do think at some point everybody's going to be kind of like, all right, man, basketball's on.
I don't know. you think that he lasts? Well, the Lakers game starts at 6:30. You think he'll still be on the board at 6:30?
I
bet he will.
If the Raiders don't pick him, he will definitely be on the board at 6:30.
If he gets drafted beyond the second round, LeBron will always be able to say to Dion, My son was hired. Yes, right. My son was drafted in the second round.
So the Lions have taken a guard from Georgia. Tate Ratledge goes at 57 to the Lions. Now the Raiders are still on the clock at 58. This is the pick they got from Houston in that trade. So this means they're still on the clock. The pick isn't in. Are they debating in that war room?
Oh, yeah.
Is Pete Carroll in there with the glasses on, chewing gum rapidly, saying, hey.
They may be debating, but I have a sense they're not debating a quarterback.
You don't think they're debating a quarterback?
What do you think, Happy? You know Pete. He's your buddy. What do you think he's doing? You think he wants Shadur?
I would say this. If you want Geno Smith to feel confident and not have Geno Smith feel like Kirk Cousins felt last year, like, why did you go sign me and then draft this kid? I mean, the difference obviously was Michael Penix was drafted in the first round.
Right. Do you think that that's enough for them to be like, well, he was like late in the second round. You don't have anything to worry about, Geno. You got your 2 years, your money.
Yeah, but again, the pick is in. There is a lot that comes with Shadur, and maybe the further he falls in the draft, maybe less of the circus comes to town.
And plus, you got Tom Brady there to reel him in.
There is that a factor, but you have.
Here it is.
Let's pot it up.
NFL fans here in Green Bay, are you having some fun tonight?
This is Steve Wisniewski, the old offensive lineman.
You guys are absolutely amazing, and I get the privilege of representing some other amazing fans, that being Raider Nation. I was blessed to play 13 years with the Silver and Black, and the man who used to always make this pick is a Raider legend, an NFL Hall of Famer, Willie Brown. And I want to give a shout out to Willie Brown. His tradition in this place was he wanted to give a heartfelt appreciation and thanks to all the mothers of the NFL community. It's 2 weeks till Mother's Day, and he always wished them an early Happy Mother's Day.
Good job.
If you're a fan of the NFL, if you're a player in the NFL, if you're a coach in the NFL, you likely had a very supportive, encouraging mom or mom figure that sacrificed to make that dream possible. Tonight, we have another dream being made. With the 58th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Jack Besh, wide receiver, Texas Christian.
Wow.
Just win, baby.
I like that pick.
Just win, baby. So with
Love that pick.
As we approach 6 o'clock in the Southland,
wow,
the Raiders don't take Shadur. Most likely he drops to the third round now.
You're not going to Baltimore, who's up next.
He is going to the third round.
He's not going to Denver, Washington, Chicago, Kansas City, Philly.
Nope,
none of those teams.
He's done.
Look at this picture DeAndre just sent in our group chat of Deion, Shiloh, and Shadur watching the draft together right now.
So with that, we are wrapping up our coverage from NFL Draft Headquarters for the Los Angeles Rams at Air Operations in Van Nuys. Thank you to all of our great fans that held with us on YouTube and the all-new ESPN LA app. On 7:10 a.m. right now, you can hear Lakers play-by-play or Lakers pregame as they get close to a 6:30 tip in Minnesota against the Timberwolves, or click the Lakers tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. Kings hockey tonight, also on the app. Thank you to everybody here. Stephanie Alexander, Parker Bell, Carlos Saisu back at operations, Reese yesterday, Lucas, Marcus Grant for filling in for Sedano, producer Lindsay Baseball. Great job as always on the producing and on air. Scott Cappy, thank you so much. It was fun to do the draft with you, brother.
Hey, let me tell you something. I had a great time. Seriously, no. Can I curse?
Yeah, you can curse.
No bullshit. Seriously.
Thank you.
I love you asking Parker, by the way. Parker's like, I don't know.
Parker, if I
that was our first curse word on YouTube.
But it was after 6 p.m. because remember, we were only supposed to be on from 5 to 6, right? So
it was like a bonus curse.
First of all, it was a blast. It
really
was. It was a blast. Number one. Number two, thanks to the Rams.
Yeah, hell yeah, Rams.
Yes.
Because here's why I want to thank the Rams. First of all, what they did here, I know I've said it a bunch of times, celebrating first responders and celebrating these firefighters and the thinking of this, they deserve a lot of credit. Second thing that the Rams did is they said, hey, we're invading your space. We really want to make it special for you. The food that they have provided for these firefighters over the first 2 days and what they'll do over the weekend, also really cool. And lastly, bringing attention to these firefighters, just having been on national television, sitting here in their own hangar as the Rams were getting ready to make the pick. So thank you to the Rams organization. They're great partners for us, and we love working with them. has been a blast, an absolute blast. And thanks to all these firefighters, because what you guys do is why you deserve a raise.
And lastly, thank you, DeAndre Hawkins, back at the studio the last few days. Young D.
Yo, D.
Be sure to catch Lakers Talk Daily at ESPN Los Angeles.
You think D was freaking out earlier when we couldn't get the tight end
Great
on?
job, by the way.
Great job.
Good
We
work.
literally made history tonight.
Wait,
D,
D's
thanks
got
for all
something
your
to say.
help.
I was saying, I would like to say I was not panicking when the tight end was on.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't. He figured it out immediately.
When you got heat like D's got heat, he's calm.
Yeah, great job by
He's
you,
going to
though.
drop the hook from the middle. You know what I mean?
He doesn't freak out like Funch.
do.
Like Funch would be like, "Hey guys, I can't get the prospect.
Hey, man, I can't get him on, man. I can't get him on.
You don't have to rip Funchy out of it.
No, I'm just
Bunch of
saying
catching
that.
strays.
Listen, it's just that's just Funch's mannerisms in
Okay.
these situations. That's
Everybody
all.
have a great weekend, a great night. Thanks for being with us. Enjoy this amazing sports weekend all weekend long. Oh, they're sounding our alarm to leave. Monday we'll be back at 3
Oh, wait,
p.m.
look,
Sedano
no,
Kap.
no joke. There's a real fire. Look, they're all leaving.
No, they all jumped
all
up
the
and ran off.
firefighters just got up.
And we're
I
not allowed
think-
to share that on social.
And
We're
I
not?
think, by the way, we have to leave now, too. As well.
We
I'm
do.
not joking.
Perfect
Yeah.
timing.
So, with
Bye.
that, good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the NFL.